Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I wanted to have a little fun and give you my top 10 favorite cards from the new Grand Archive set, Mortal Ambition. Kind of go over, not necessarily what I think is the most powerful cards in the set, but more so like what are my favorite cards and why, and kind of give you some reasoning. I did mix in some powerful cards, mix in some normal cards, so we'll have some fun with it. But it's really to generate some cool discussion on the set, talk about maybe some deck ideas, because I really like taking a certain card and building around it, so that kind of lends to this style of video, and just kind of get your feedback as a community. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're new from the Grand Archive community, as you've seen my channel start to cover the game, definitely check out the Discord down below. I started making a whole Grand Archive section. I would love to talk with y'all and just learn and grow in the game. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. We'll get right into it. So again, I picked 10 cards, and I didn't necessarily pick like the 10 best cards or the 10 most broken cards, but the 10 cards that really scratched my brain and made me want to think and possibly build a deck around. Because when it comes to Grand Archive, I think I lend more to wanting to play a combo style game. I've been really interested in Rye, really interested in like Luxem Xander, really interested now in Tristan, like kind of the slower level 3. I just enjoy that. I think that's the pinnacle of some of these champions, and I think it's really cool to like take a deck idea and build around it the best you can. So a lot of the cards you'll see kind of fit in that. For this, two things. One, I tried to avoid reprints, and two, I tried to avoid reprints, and I use starter decks, because I think the starter decks, in my opinion, still count for this set, and there's some really cool cards in there, so I didn't want to leave those out. But we'll get right into it. These are in no particular order. The first one is Blood Bond Bladesworn. First off, that's a tongue twister of a name. I get mixed up every time I say it. 3-cost Exia card, Warrior Human Ally. Blood Bond gets +1 for every 10 damage counters on your champion. Whenever Blood Bond is dealt damage, deal that much damage to your champion. So obviously this card is for Jhin. I just like this card because the power level. This is more of a power level thing. The value that this card can potentially bring in the late game, like it's most of the time going to come in for a 3-cost 4 for 6, maybe a 5 for 6, and then if you're really late game and you're going in for that kill turn, so to speak, right, you already have the chest played out and you're really trying to get the most value possible, this is a 3-cost 6/6, right? And it helps just... Normally, its second bar of text of whenever Blood Bond is dealt damage, deal that much to your champion would be a bad thing, but it's it's a good thing because it raises the counters, which helps you even go in on more on that kill turn. The other thing about this card is if you don't have a way to remove it from the game, like a Dream Fairy or something crazy, this card is going to be really hard to take off the board, because it costs 6. It takes up 6 damage in order to kill it in a single turn, and when you hit it, you're still dealing damage to Jhin, which might be a good thing depending on the game state, but also might be a bad thing. So you might just be powering up Jhin even more for his clapback turn, because if he has immortality at that point, even if the damage you deal to this puts Jhin over his life total, you might have just given him the tools he needs in order to hit you back on his turn and just win the game. So super, super good card for value. Really enjoying this card. Let me know what you think of it. The second one is Burst Asunder, and again, this goes to my combo playstyle. I see this card, and I'm not saying this card's like insanely like overpowered or above rate. I just see this card, and I want to make like a fractal water list that just like explodes somebody with Burst Asunders. So this card costs 2 less to activate if you are a cleric or a mage, so it costs 2. Deal 2 damage to target unit, then you may sacrifice any amount of fractals. For each fractal sacrifice this way, deal an additional 2 damage to that unit. I would love to get like 5 or 6 fractals out on the board and then just hit somebody for a 2 for 14 while my fractals are like giving me other value. I just really like this. This isn't like the ultimate combo card, right? This isn't something crazy. However, this card's really cool, and if you're wanting to play like a different style deck or try like this unique kind of fun play style, maybe you go for like a fractal value water list, and then you're trying to like kill them with like Burst Asunder. And if you're playing a champion like Hong Ming, maybe you're trying to use Burst Asunder and Leeching Bolt in tandem to help like just combo your opponent out. Really, really cool card. Really enjoy this card just for the combo-esque play style. Then we have Extraction Incision. I just like this card because it's a good assassin dagger. It's a 2 for 3 that on kill puts a prep counter on your champion. So if you're going for a little bit more aggressive list, or you're trying to deal with some, or even a slower list, and you're trying to deal with some allies maybe on the board, you can play this, take out a 3 health ally, which is usually a really, usually a break point, so to speak, is 3 health. Being able to then put a prep counter on your champion, put a prep counter on Tristan to then further her late game plan can be really good. Also has True Sight, so it can target stealth. So that's really, really useful. So again, nothing crazy from a value perspective. It's a 2 for 3, which is pretty much on rate. But being able to get that prep counter on kill for assassins, as well as be able to target stealth, I felt like this is good. I put this as a 2 of in my current Tristan list. We'll see if I end up taking it out. But I've been really enjoying the value that this card can give, especially against those ally decks that are just trying to pressure you before you get to level 3. Then next, again, another star deck card. We have Leeching Bolt. I love this card. So far, early on, until people figure her out, this is kind of like Kang Min's win condition, so to speak, or at least her most obvious one is Leeching Bolt. Deal level damage to target unit and you recover 2. So it says if Leeching Bolt, for a class bonus, if you're a mage, if Leeching Bolt is empowered, put it into your owner's material deck, preserved. As you materialize it, you may return a preserved card to your hand. So being able to completely just manipulate your level and be able to deal a lot of damage to the opponent, right? If you can do something like empowering like 6, 7, 8, and all of a sudden this is a 2 for 8, right? And you can play multiple of these in a turn. Potentially, if you can continue to empower, and also if it's empowered, it goes into your material deck preserve, so that means you can bring it out again. This is just a really cool card. This is like the most obvious win condition. Not obvious, but is one of the more obvious win conditions for Kang Min as far as a late game combo piece. And I really enjoy this card. The fact that it's preservable, so you can continue to use it, and essentially have a hard time decking out or a hard time getting rid of threats. I thought this was a really cool card. Then we have a Nent Barrier. This is also a really cool cleric spell reaction. So class bonus, if you're a cleric, prevent the next 1+ level damage that we've dealt to your champion this turn. At level 3, you glimpse 3. I really like this card in Arisana. I want to play Arisana more, and I think this card fits her perfectly. Her late game, you're really trying to snowball with all the glimpsing and all of, being able to basically play cards off the top of your deck for free with her level 3. So being able to, prevent damage, at a base, this is going to prevent 4 damage at level 3 for 2 cost, which is pretty good. And it's going to also allow you to glimpse 3, which then you could potentially, play a card from that glimpse with Arisana's level 3 ability. So I think it fits perfectly into her, and I like this card for that sole reason that Arisana kind of got a buff, and I think this card is kind of a mainstay in her, in my opinion, for the future. Then we have Razor Gale Calling, similar to Burst Asunder. This isn't like an insane card from a value perspective, but I want to try to do some type of mini combo play with this. Class bonus, if you're a cleric, this card costs 2 less to activate. Whenever you activate a wind element card, deal 1 damage to target champion. So being able to continuously deal damage over a combo turn would be really, really cool. I think that, again, this isn't going to OTK somebody, but playing multiple of these potentially, it's potentially could be a 2 cost, maybe 4 or 5 if you're doing the right things, because whenever you activate a wind element card, so being able to just get the value off of that, these cool little mini combo plays, I just kind of want to find ways to put these in a deck and be able to utilize them to their fullest extent. We'll see what they end up doing later on. Then the next one we have a Scorchfire Assassin. This is an ally assassin human on attack. Class bonus, if you're assassin, you may remove up to 3 preparation counters from your champion. For each counter removed this way, this attack gets +2. I love this for Fire Xander. This is just a really cool fire ally assassin, Unga Bunga go fast. If you can get 3 prep counters on him, being able to use stuff you already have stuff like Slice and Dice, which is really good, but also you have another option here, at its fullest extent. This is a 3 cost that attacks for 7, which is really, really good. You can put it on the board and swing with it, and it gets, +2 for each prep counter removed, up to 3. So yeah, coming in for 7 damage, really, really good. I enjoy the pinnacle of what this card could be for like a fast go aggro list that maybe builds up a couple prep counters quickly and then utilizes those to kind of close the game out as fast as possible. Then we have Shang-Chi of Sacrifice. Again, this is from the starter deck with Jin. I've talked about this card already on the channel this week. This card's just nuts. For every 5 damage counters on your champion, Shang-Chi of Sacrifice gets +1. So in Jin, it's absolutely broken. If he's at 25 health or 25 damage counters, this gets +5. So, it's coming in for 6. And then on enter, you can deal 5 damage to yourself, basically giving it a +1 buff, and you draw a card. Right? So super, super good. Allows you to get card advantage, allows you to swing really heavily, especially if you couple this with an attack with Jin as well on a champion attack. Really, really good card. Like, super scary. This card has hit 10+ for me easy on several turns. Then we have Sudden Deluge as an attack assassin dagger. Prepare 1. You may remove a preparation counter from your champion as you activate this card. On champion hit, if Sudden Deluge was prepared, that opponent puts the top 10 cards from their deck into their graveyard. So Assassin Mill is something I want to make. I don't think this card moves the needle enough on a Water Xander or Water Tristan list that might be trying to play a mill plan, but it does help a little bit. And I would love to see more cards like this in the future. This card can do some bonkers things. I mean, if you do this twice, you literally 2 or 3 times, you milled half your opponent's deck, which is super, super useful, right? You could give them access to flow memory, which is kind of like the give and take of this game. But if you're wanting to play heavy mill and you want to play assassin mill, right, and kind of go for that archetype that's very prevalent in other TCGs, this card's going to start leading you down that path, which I really enjoy. And then finally, Yudi. Yudi is really cool. Whenever you empower an amount, if that amount is greater than the amount of root counters on Yudi, put a root counter on her. Players can't declare attacks. If you're a cleric or mage, it says players can't declare attacks with non-Terra element units unless they pay X for each attack declaration, where X is the amount of root counters on Yudi. So basically, if you're let's say you empower 3 times, and you can get this up to and they may empower in 3, and then maybe you empower 4, and you get up 3 counters up to this, and you basically tell your opponent, if you're not a Terra champion, and you're not in the Terra element, you're going to have to pay 3 for every single attack you attack with, on top of paying to play it, unless you can get rid of this card. And that's just insane. I mean, you could essentially lock your opponent out of the game in certain situations. So super excited to play this card. I only pulled a 1 of in my boxes, but I might get 1 more. I think 2 is the perfect amount in the deck, especially for Kong Ming. So super excited to play this card. I think it's very, very good. But yeah, let me know what you think. I think these are my 10 favorite. Blood Bond is really good, like I said, for the value. But let me know what your favorite cards are. I try to pick ones that have some combo elements, have some unique archetypes that you can play around with. They may not be the most playable cards in the world all the time, but they're ones that I think could be really, really good. Or just have really a lot of fun with, more so than anything. I love taking certain cards and trying to build around them. It's one of my favorite things to do in trading card games. But yeah, if you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's totally fine. Go to another creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff. Let's get more people seeing this game. This game's growing very fast. Super excited about it. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk.